Mistake number 4, closing your oldest credit card. Alright, mistake number 4 might seem harmless at first, but it can actually do serious damage to your credit score if you're not careful. And that's closing your oldest credit card account. Now, I get the impulse. Maybe it's a card you don't use anymore. Maybe it doesn't earn great rewards. Maybe it's just kind of sitting there and you think, I'll just close it. No point keeping it open, right? Wrong. That old card is probably doing more for your credit score than you realize. Here's why. One of the big factors in your credit score, roughly 15% of it, is something called length of credit history. That includes two things: the age of your oldest account and the average age of all your accounts. When you close your oldest card, both of those numbers can take a hit. Let's say your oldest card is 10 years old and your other cards are around 2 to 3 years old. If you shut down that 10-year-old card, your average age drops and your credit history suddenly looks a lot shorter. That can cause your score to dip, especially if your credit file isn't very thick to begin with. And if you're planning to apply for a loan, mortgage, or new card in the near future, that drop could mean higher interest rates or even a denial. But it doesn't stop there. Closing a card also affects your credit utilization ratio, which is another big factor, about 30% of your score. Credit utilization is how much of your total available credit you're using. When you close a card, especially one with a decent limit, your total available credit drops. And if your balances stay the same, your utilization goes up, which can also hurt your score. Here's a quick example. Let's say you have two cards. Card A, which has a $5,000 limit, and it's your oldest card. Then card B, which also has a $5,000 limit. If you carry a $2,000 balance spread between them, that's 20% utilization. Solid. Now you close card A. Your total limit drops to $5,000, but your balance is still $2,000. Now your utilization is 40%, which is edging into risky territory, and your score could take a hit. So what should you do instead? Keep your oldest card open, even if you're not using it often. If it has no annual fee, let it sit. Maybe put a small recurring charge on it, like your Netflix or Spotify, and set up an auto pay so it stays active without much effort. If it does have an annual fee and you're not using the benefits, call the issuer and ask if you can downgrade to a no-fee version of the same card. Most banks offer this and it lets you keep the account and its credit history without paying for a card you're not using. The goal is to preserve the age of that account, because once it's gone, you can't get that history back. One last note. Just because you can keep it open doesn't mean you have to carry a balance or use it all the time. In fact, the banks are totally fine with you keeping it for the long haul, even with minimal activity. And your credit score will thank you for it. So if you're thinking of cleaning up your wallet and closing cards, pause and think about the impact. Closing your oldest card might seem like a smart move, but in reality, it could do more harm than good.